Hello everybody and welcome back to RainBro Crafts. My name is Colton and today Zach will be making for you the first soap in our micro fall collection for the month of September. So like I mentioned in the past couple videos, we actually split up our September soap launch into two different sections, with the first part being a little more like summery and the second part, which is this part forward, being a little more autumnal wintry. So it would be not a RainBro Crafts fall collection without Warm Flannel from Bramble Berry, which is what this soap is. It is our go-to fragrance oil for any fall type soap, and it actually is the first video we have on this channel is me making a warm flannel soap. There is no voiceover. I think I typed subtitles or something, but that's what started this whole channel, is this soap in particular. For this batch, Zach is going to whip up one whole batch of our soap base with some Ultra Sparkle Gold Mica, which he's adding on screen now, and also into that Cambro he added the lye water and sodium lactate, just like always, along with some kaolin clay, and also some colloidal oatmeal and that fragrance oil, which like I mentioned is called Warm Flannel from Bramble Berry. It is our go-to autumn scent. It's really like a good cozy fragrance. There's some citrusy notes, but it's a little vanilla-y. There's baking spices, there's some fragrant woods, and then there's some amber to kind of round everything out and ground it. The one thing with this fragrance oil is it does discolor to brown, so if you do use it, do keep that in mind. We just incorporate that into the design for this soap, which is why Zach is adding that Ultra Sparkle Gold Mica, not really to color the soap batter itself, but the Ultra Sparkle aspect of the mica will show up really nicely in a dark colored soap, because you can actually see some of those flecks of gold. So while it doesn't really look like anything is in that soap right now, once it discolors, you definitely will be able to see it. The second thing that he added, but really was the first thing he added, was some exfoliant in the form of coconut husk. So if you see little like blackish brown flecks on the screen in that soap batter, that's what that is. It is a lovely kind of soft exfoliant. It's our go-to exfoliant. We stopped using it for a while because none of our suppliers had it, but it's been back in stock now for a little while, and so we've been slowly transitioning to this as our exfoliant, along with pumice, which you've probably seen me use in some videos as well. For this particular design, Zach is going to do a double layered soap with a mica line in the middle. So we will divide up that soap batter into half. One half in one slab, one half in the other slab. And you can see this is pretty liquidy, but that's okay. It'll set up nicely. And since we're doing a double batch, this will give it plenty of time to set up, but not be too set up, if that makes sense. It also is nice to get a nice crisp line because you're not worrying about having to like spread it out as much as possible. So to this soap batter, Zach is going to add in 3 different micas. He's going to do a green mica, which we already have on screen here. He'll then go in with some of that Ultra Sparkle Gold Mica and hug each row of that green mica he already had put in. And then once that's down, he'll go in with some Merlot mica, which is our favorite kind of go-to warm autumn wintry mica color, and he'll go in between those gold lines and add that in. This is a really cool, impactful effect, especially in a soap that's going to be really heavily contrasting that mica line. So like I mentioned, this soap batter is going to discolor to a darker brown, so especially that gold mica line that he added in will really pop amongst that darker soap background color. We will then whisk up a second batch of the same exact soap with that Ultra Sparkle in it, with that Warm Flannel fragrance oil from Bramble Berry in it, and those coconut husks as an exfoliant as well. a nice thing to do with a mica line, even if you're doing it on the top of the soap, is you add it in when the batter's a little wet still, a little runny, because it lets it absorb and kind of like adhere to the mica, and you can kind of see that on the bottom of the screen. It almost looks like the mica is a paste instead of a powder, and that's because that liquid that's in the soap batter is kind of like melding with the mica, which is really nice, especially on like an ultra sparkle mica or some other like really finely milled micas. They puff up, and this kind of prevents that. And then once that soap batter is nice and well incorporated into a super light trace, Zach is going to pour that over the slabs there using his scraper to break the fall. While that bottom layer is pretty well set up and it shouldn't cause any problem, any dips or anything like that, part of the design of this soap is a nice crisp line, and so we want to do as much to help get those end results as possible, which is why he's pouring that soap batter over that scraper there. And then the last step in the soap making process is that we're going to put on some Ultra Sparkle Gold mica across the whole top of that slab there on both slabs. And then we're going to go in with that green and red mica to kind of mirror what we did on the mica line that's in the middle of the soap. Also, it's a nice way to add a little extra pizzazz to the top of a soap that really is going to ultimately be just a dark brown color. This adds a little excitement and also a little bit of like festive glitz and glam to it. So he's going to go in with that green mica first, really lightly. The one thing you want to watch out for when you're doing mica on the top of soap is that if you add too much, it won't all like adhere to the bars of soap, and you're gonna have mica everywhere. It's gonna stick to your fingers, it's gonna stick to any container you store your bars in. It'll wash off in the first 1 or 2 times you use the soap bar, but getting it to the shower or the sink or what have you, it's gonna be a little messy. I find that the redder the mica, the more likely it is to be a real pain, especially if it has, I think it's like iron oxide in there, which I think is the thing that makes red mica red. That seems to really like to stick around, and that's not what we want. Once that green's down, Zach will go in with that Merlot mica in between those lines of green and just add a little additional pizzazz there. And then the final step in this specific soap is that Zach's going to go in with our trusty chopstick and do some feathering, which you know we love to do. This is really going to make it look like kind of like a knit sweater or a flannel shirt, perhaps, which we love to do. I think we did this last year, and I'll put the video up on the screen in one of the corners so you can go check that out if you haven't seen that video. The fragrance oil is the same. The design is going to be a little bit different because we switch it up every single year, but a brown soap is going to look like a brown soap, so it's probably going to look pretty similar to this. But I'll put up a card up in the corner for you all to watch. Now that that feathering is done, we'll spritz this with some rubbing alcohol. This will set the mica to the top of the soap. It'll also prevent soda ash from potentially happening. It's pretty warm here still, so we're not in that like zone where soda ash really likes to happen, but it just helps it. We also steam the bars as well, which makes them look nice and polished and finished. It's just like a little soap trick that we do. We will then get this out of the slab, and then we will break these slabs into loaves. And you can already see that the outside of the slab is turning a slightly darker color than what it was when we poured the soap yesterday. And it'll continue to darken over the next couple days till it gets to its final form. The kind of cool thing, it's a little nerdy, but it's kind of cool, at least to me, is that once this soap discolors to its final color, if you cut the bar in half with a kitchen knife, for example, the inside of the bar will still be that uncolored soap base color because the oxygen hasn't gotten to that soap batter. So you'll be able to see it. Or if you use your soap really, really quickly, you might also notice that color difference. But there it is. You can see that beautiful mica line. And like I said, this will continue to darken and you'll be able to see that mica line even better. I'll put up a picture on one of the corners here so you can see what that looks like now that this soap's been made for just about a month. Alright, and for the question of the video from our random question generator, it is, what would you do on a free afternoon in the middle of the week? I would potentially see if I could get in for a massage or a pedicure or something like that, especially if it was just an unexpected, you have the day off to kind of treat yourself and enjoy that free time. I also might do some yard work or something, which doesn't sound super exciting, but I like to do yard work and decompress and have something that I can show my progress. But I'm really interested in what your answers would be. So put your answer to the question, what would you do on a free afternoon in the middle of the week, in the comment section down below. But that is it. This is our warm flannel for 2025. This soap, along with all of the others from this micro collection, will be for sale starting the second Sunday in September, which I believe is the 14th. We'll post on Instagram and send out a newsletter and all those things too, so keep an eye out for that. If you do want to support the channel and get soaps, candles, and bath bombs each and every month from us, check out our website, rainbrocrafts.com, for more details on that. We really, really appreciate our subscribers. They make this channel possible, and in gratitude for that, we send them goodies each and every month from our latest collection, and I'm putting them up on the screen right now. So if you join up, your name will be on the screen at the end of every video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to answer that question in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel and ring that bell icon. Thanks. Bye.